Hey everyone, and welcome to this brief explanation of what goes into the second milestone. And as you appreciated in the first milestone, we basically covered off on segmentation and creating a target market. And now we're going to utilize all that to continue. First off, finishing up the SDP portion of the marketing planning framework, which concludes with positioning, and you'll write a position statement in Milestone 2. And we'll also dive into now the definition of the 4 P's of marketing, starting with the kind of the cornerstone one, and that is the product itself. Okay, so let's move on here, and we will talk about the defining the product. So let me just kind of do a little precursor here. I don't expect you to become an expert on guacamole. It's really not the point at all. It's more a matter of trying to understand what the needs and wants of your target market is, and making sure that your product is reflective of those. That we make sure that what we design what we can into the product with the idea of what our target market's needs and wants are. So the first step of this is using your generalized target definition that you did for Milestone 1. You want to outline clear statements on what your target's needs are and what your target's wants are. Dig into this a little bit. And again, if the generalized definition should help you define what they're looking for, what's important to them. For example, you might have found out in Milestone 1, doing Milestone 1 as one of the psychographics was, they care about the health, eating healthy as possible or whatever, some type of indication of that. Then you'd want to make sure that that's somehow integrated into, to the definition of what they need or what they want. And then in that, and listen, I'm not as hung up on the needs and wants clearly defined, but what I want you to do is make sure that you're giving it some, consideration and do a little research to figure out what they need and want. And if you can't find a lot of things on guacamole, don't sweat that too much. You might want to just look at condiments in general, or you might look at just how they shop in general. I understand this is a short-term project for this class, so do the best you can with the research. Try to get as specific as you can, but that's what you need to do, okay? So that's that element of it. And now, what you want to do is then match up your features and the benefits of your product line to that. So where to start? Well, of course, with your target's needs and wants. The features are the more tangible, definable elements of your product. What it's made of, the container, all those different types of things. It's more of the specifications, if you will. Those are the features. And then the benefits are what the target market values and derives from your product. So, and those are kind of think of it as a formula. So the features of your product are the specific physical features of the product itself. Those equal the benefits that the target market derives from the product. And those have to match up to the needs and wants of your target market. So you can see it's almost like I draw it as a linear equation where things equal each other, and that's kind of what you're going for here, is trying to create that equation, make sure that it balances out. So the product recipe, of course, is important, but so is the packaging form. So maybe your target is looking for convenience in what they're trying to buy. So you'd want to make sure that your packaging form, meaning the size, containers, and what have you that you're selling, or even the functionality of the containers, meet those needs. And then for this thing, and I mean this because I don't want you to spend a ton of time on this, and I don't want you. I want you to do this as best you can with the limited amount of time we have. So what I want you to do is base it on one flavor or type of guacamole. You may have plans of having this huge offer of like a bunch of different things, and that's really important. That's okay. It's worth noting, but for the definition part of it here and what we're trying to do for this project, let's keep it to one flavor or type, okay? And then the other thing is, please don't invent new processes, things, or things that can happen in the manufacture of guacamole. I don't want us to make stuff up. I understand that we're using our imagination a little bit, but I don't want us to be that imaginative. So, keep it within the confines of what we know the marketplace to be. Second thing you need to do is write a position statement. This is I always said this is a very extraordinarily important part of a marketing plan, is to say, well, where do you fit? And a position statement answers these three questions, which of course you want to do in your submission here. So, who are you trying to persuade? And that's obviously your target market, and that's who you're trying to appeal to. It doesn't require a lot of definition. It just says that's who you are targeting. Who are you competing with? Now, this one you do need to kind of dig into and figure out what other types of guacamole are out there. And you can do that online. Actually, you can go to Whole Foods site or any of the grocery chain sites. Anywhere you might think you might buy guacamole, just go to their things and see what other products are being offered and start to generalize from them, where they are positioned in the marketplace, your competitors. What's important is your customers has those choices and they have perceptions about what each one of those choices means. And the question is how do you fit within that, okay? And that's where you're going to need to do number 3, and that's going to answer what makes your product unique, okay? A clear advantage over the competitors. And that's important to be able to do that. So spend a little time here, understand what other offers are out there, make sure you understand where your product is positioned and what's unique about it that the customer will see and value. Okay, so that's really an important part of that. Okay, so this is the template. It's all in the instructions in the module in our class course shell. So I want to start with a brief description of your persona. You might want to copy this because it's the starting point of most of the milestones. So even if it's just a reminder, it's like, hey, this is who we are, who our customer is, okay? The needs of your persona should really be about 3 to 4 paragraphs. I want you to identify specifically about 5 different needs. What are the wants of your persona? Clearly define what the wants of your persona are, minimum about 3. But the point of it is that those are the things that the customer is looking for. Keeping in mind the overall strategy of the company, which was well defined in the introductory document to the project. Define the features of the product offer. And that also in mind, keeping in mind the overall strategy of the company, define the benefits of the product offer. And they should be about 3 to 4 paragraphs as they apply to your product. Okay? And then write a concise position statement, 2 to 3 paragraphs by answering all those questions that we just covered. Okay, so that's milestone 2. There's a little bit of work involved, but it's doable. And if you don't get stuck on any of it, if there's any part of it where you're like, I don't know how to answer that or where I can look, or don't wring your hands too much on this, please shoot me off an email and say I'm a little stuck on this, and be specific about the aspect of it that you're kind of struggling with. Okay, so that's milestone 2. If you have any questions, please let me know, and best of luck.